Well, hi, and welcome to the workshop. Going to be starting on a new project here. We're going to frame a picture. It's one that Carol painted a long time ago, and it's a kind of unique picture. She painted around the edges, and I'll show you what it looks like right here. It's on canvas, and it wraps around the edges. You can see there's where she's got her signature and other stuff on there. So we're going to frame that. Now the nice thing is since it is painted around the edges, we're going to want to preserve that. So I came up with a frame concept, which I hope works out, and I'll show you the materials we have to start with. So I got two different types of wood here. One of them is just 1x wood, and it's 1x4, and we're going to use that as to make a thing called a face frame. That'll be the backing frame that the picture is then attached to with screws, and also the actual picture frame, which is the decorative part, is in this material here. That will be attached to it as well. The idea is to have it such that the edges of that picture we just looked at will be exposed, and you'll be able to see that rather than hiding it with a big frame wrapped around the edges. So one of the first things I'll need to do is get the table saw out and do some beveling on that face frame wood, so you don't have such a big edge on the back. We kind of want to soften that by putting a 45-degree bevel on it. So on the table saw here, which we've got set up, I'm going to have to put those on there and run them through the full 6-foot length, both of them, so that they match the same. And I've got the saw blade at 45 degrees. I was just kind of getting things set up here with a test piece. I'll have to probably run a couple of them to get set up right. I've got to be a little careful because this is typically when you get kickback from saws, because you got that little piece that's coming off the end here, and if it hits the blade when it's rotating back, it kind of shoots right at you, so you got to be careful with that. I did get a new table from Rockler, which is called a T-top. It has these rails in there that lets you put clamping devices and other things to hold your work in place. Really handy, and it should be big enough for the size frames and different projects I'll work on. But it lets you mount stuff on here. This is a particular picture frame clamp with a web on there, so it goes around on the corners. But should be really helpful to get this thing put together with little less effort than you would do if you were working on a normal table. So it should be a fun project. It's probably going to take me maybe a week, a number of days. I'm still waiting for some tools to come in, some different countersink bits that I need to do things properly, so there are hidden screws and so on. But it should be fun, and I hope you follow along.